I wake up some mornings, sit, look at my beautiful garden, and think, remember how good this is because you can lose it. Jim Carrey. I've always been fascinated by the idea of coffee shops and conversations around coffee. The informal atmosphere, the way we have conversations, the ambiance, which is exactly why in this week's episode of Master Talk, I'm going to share the 3 lessons that I learned from coffee shops that apply to every single presentation that I've given in my life. Brendan here from MasterTalk, everyone, your go-to channel to mastering your talk. And today we're talking coffee shops. So let's get brewing. Number 1, presentations in a way resembles a conversation with a friend over coffee. So many of us think of communication in the wrong way. Much like the people are running in the morning to try and get their cup of coffee or giving that work presentation that they're really stressed about, we see it as a chore. Whether it's the way that we present at work or the way that we quickly get our coffee from that local coffee chain and run to work. When we see something like a chore, we don't enjoy it. But that's not true on the weekends. We're having that amazing coffee chat with an old friend and that conversation lasts hours and hours. You don't see the time go by because you're presenting in the moment. You're enjoying the present. Why don't we do that more with our presentations? Because in presentations, in many cases, you only get to present one time before you have to grab coffees with other people. So why not make that moment matter? Why not feel the presence of everyone in the room? Because if you achieve that, you'll make your audience feel something special. In the same way you enjoyed that coffee chat with your friends and you enjoy the presence, you're not stressed about life, you're enjoying the moment. Why don't we do that more in our presentations? So I challenge all of you, the next time you present, think of it more like an old coffee with an old friend, a nice classic roast that's waiting for you to start your day. Enjoy that moment, and I promise you, you'll enjoy every presentation that you have to give. Number 2, sitting at a coffee shop allows us to slow things down and enjoy the moment. A lot of these fast coffee chains have convinced us that we should operate our lives like a fighter jet. Go run in, get your coffee, and run out before the whole store explodes. And that's what we pay $5 for. Really? We're already paying a lot of money for this coffee. We might as well enjoy the moment. But unfortunately, we do the same thing with presentations. For many of us, the goal of presentations is to run into it and run out as quickly as possible, as if we're a marathon sprinter. Like we're just running and running and running a race, instead of just saying, wait a second, let's have people enjoy this moment. Let's take a step back. So the ask that I have for all of you is the next time that you give a presentation, think of a time where you had a coffee with somebody during your vacation. So I'm sure many of you have taken vacation at least once in your life. Think about those coffees. How do you react? How do you act? Who are you being? This is another great quote from Steve Hardison, who's the ultimate coach. Who you're being is more important than what you're doing. How are you showing up? What energy are you showing up with? What is your presence? Bring that same level of presence to just one of your presentations, just one of your coffee conversations, and watch your audience change in front of you. And finally, number 3, enjoying a fresh cup of coffee is just as important as recognizing the effort that it takes to make a great one. Grinding the fresh beans, making sure we don't use cheap filters, enjoying the quality that is being offered, the technique around how coffee is created. That in of itself is a difficult process, especially one to get right. And once we start appreciating that process, we start to appreciate the detail in every area of our life. When was the last time you looked at a cup of coffee and said, I wonder how much effort went into this? No, that's not what we do with our cup of coffee or tea if you're a tea drinker. You wake up in the morning, You get the coffee and you just drink it and move on with your day. You don't sit back and enjoy the finesse, the detail, the effort that it takes to make something as beautiful as coffee so quickly. In the same way that we don't appreciate the detail in the coffee that we drink every morning, especially at a coffee shop, since we don't really stay in the shop that long anyways, feels more like an errand than anything else. We don't appreciate the details in general in our lives. Presentation is a good example of this too. I'm sure there's one time in your life, at least, where you had a presentation due in 2 days and you just said, well, presentation, I guess I'll kind of give some content and figure it out, on the spot and move on, instead of obsessing over every detail. From the moment you enter the room, from the smile that's on your face, from the way that your audience is reacting to you, obsessing over every detail and appreciating every detail, like every detail that went into your amazing cup of coffee this morning, really changes the way that you look at life and how seriously you take life. So make sure that you appreciate the little things just a little bit more. When coffee's done right, it becomes an important part of our day. And as Jim Carrey said so famously, when he enjoys that fresh brew and looking at his beautiful garden, it reminds him to not lose the most beautiful moment of his life. And that's the key that I want to share with all of you. All of us have those moments. We just forget them along the way. We don't pay attention to those details. We don't pay attention to the coffee shop moments, whether those moments are watching our children laugh in the morning as they're trying to eat their pancakes, whether that moment is watching our daughter walk for the first time, or whether that moment is winning something really important to us. Relish those moments and also relish them in the way that you present ideas. And if you do that, people will feel differently, more energetic, more enthusiastic when they're around you. And they'll probably want to grab some coffee with you too, which is great. As always, if you enjoyed this week's episode of Master Talk, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to see more videos like this. And if you know one person who drinks coffee every day, and I'm sure you do, be sure to send them this video so that they'll be one step closer to looking at their coffee cup in a completely different way. Take care.